One of the most exciting things about running your own business is the amount of people you get to meet every single day. Either you meet them online or you go networking and you meet them offline. But overall, I've multiplied my friendship group by 10 or hundreds of folds since I've started my business. But in this video, I want to share something more personal. It is the type of people we need to look out for in business, because if we're not careful, we could get burnt and we're going to be very disappointed. Number one category of people that I name is called the fraudsters. Now, we know a lot about the bigger companies, the bigger names where they do billions of dollars in fraud. Maybe they do these white collar fraud where they borrow money, they didn't invest, and they end up losing investors' money. But in a small business sense, I found a lot of people who are mini versions of fraudsters as well. Now, what I mean by that is that they overpromise and they underdeliver. And when I say they overpromise, is that they are a fraud in that sometimes they actually don't know what to do. They don't know how to do the work, but all they care about is actually selling you the particular service or product, or really bragging on and really feeling overconfident about their skill set. And so what you end up doing is you end up buying into their promises and you get so excited because they're selling their dreams. But what happens is that they will not deliver your work, but then they're such a fraudster in the sense that they are able to navigate and get you to believe them further. So you might just end up paying a little bit more money so that you could, see the end result, or they would try to buy more time and explain to you that, hey, I'm about to deliver something even more amazing to you. So just hang on there. I'm about to put this new thing together so you don't have to pay for it. And so they've just had this ability to buy more time. And what happens at the end is that we will end up being disappointed because the work doesn't get done. We either give them more money than they deserve because they don't have nothing to show for. And so they become a fraudster in the sense they scam you of your money. And so I'll give you an example of my experience at first when I used to outsource. So I remember outsourcing to a web developer when I was first starting out, and I found someone on Upwork actually. So I think he was a developer. He sounded really, really knowledgeable. And so I did agree that we will pay kind of like a fixed price project. And I started off with a portion of it. So I gave him a milestone payment and he did up to a certain point. And then obviously I could see that it's progressing. But then he said that he needed to do more things, and then he asked for more money. And so, but then unless I give him more money, I can't really get the end product. Even though he hasn't been reliable, he hasn't been responding to me, he's been over promising, but then somehow I just feel like, well, I've already wasted all this time and all this money with this person. So I'm just going to believe him again a little bit more and give him some more money. And I ended up spending more and more and more money, and I ended up not even getting my actual website. So this is one of my horror stories of outsourcing, and that's why I became very passionate about outsourcing. But that's not just the offshoring. I've also had local team members that have done exactly the same thing, where they have tried to buy more time, overpromise, and only to find out months and months later that they weren't doing a good job. So it's one of those things where you have to be really careful about those that sound really too good to be true. And when you have to kind of stick to your gut feeling when you're like, hang on, it's like they're really testing my patience here, and you just need to know and ask for proof and really make a decision really fast. Now, the second type of people that I came across when I was starting out in business is all these successful rich gurus that are on stage, or the people that are showing off on social media. They have all this money, that they have a mansion pretty much, or they travel all the time, and it was all showing. And although it attracts you as an aspiring entrepreneur that, wow, they're doing so good, because you're not a jealous type, you're just inspired. But what I found is a lot of them actually don't have the money. And I realized that, there's a small portion of people who actually really do have money, and they don't have to go to that extent to prove by showing material things. And so be careful at the ones that pretend that they have all the goods, because it's all about, what do they have that you can so they're not selling the actual information, but they're selling more of the result, the lifestyle, which then makes you forget any logic, and you really just want that result, and you basically just buy into this fakeness. And another way that they would fake it is maybe taking photos with successful people, have all these proof of evidence that these are the people they hang out with, but they're actually people who maybe they've attended an event, and you pay a VIP ticket and you take a photo, but it's basically they are not their friends. They are just people that they would, a celebrity who they met at events. And so when they create all these credibility pictures and things on social media, even on stage, if you're inexperienced, you would buy into that. And so I slowly discovered a lot of gurus who were standing in front of thousands of people selling on stage to become actual fake people. You know, they don't have all that money. And it was disappointing because you realize that they end up scamming with the people that really trusted them. I remember there was even one guru who supposedly a billionaire or close to being a billionaire. And yet when he was selling his services, he said, for you guys, limited offer, I'm even going to give you my phone number. I'm even going to give you my direct email address that you can email me. And I'm like, wow, like if you were that successful and rich, you wouldn't have that much time to let every single person email you and bother you. And yet people were just flocking to the stage. Everyone was just going straight to that person. I was like, oh my God, stop. And if you do some due diligence, you could actually find them online with bad reviews. But then they're so smart at explaining to you in advance that, hey, if you Google me, there are some haters out there and you know, it's not true because this is what happened. And they've already been proactively, they know that you're going to worry about that and they proactively found a way to counteract that. Now, the third type of people that's really hard to take note of, and it's only until months later that you realize that you have been used, are these people who I called users. So what it is I've come across certain people who actually stalked me, know who I am, and basically really try to add value to me. And it almost became like, I felt like, oh my God, they're my best friend really, really quickly. And I buy into that because I am kind of those people who are very open-hearted and I love people and I can get really excited. And so I just assume that everyone's like me. But what happens with these people is that you are part of their strategic plan. And I remember, I would say, even one of my business partner early in the days when I was starting out in my marketing agency, she basically saw that I was already, you know, doing speaking, I was doing this and that, and we end up partnering together and doing work together. But the way we ended out in terms of the way we worked together and the way we ended, I just really felt like it wasn't genuine. It was really that she just saw that I had the skill set and the connections and she wanted to partner with me. And I had another situation where this girl kind of knew me online. I didn't even know who she was actually, but she referred me a client. Then when she spoke to me, I just felt really connected and we were so close for a few months. And then all of a sudden she just stopped talking to me, but she would have time to talk to other people and, you know, would stop even commenting on my wall, but she would have time to connect with the friends that she saw that I'm connected with. It was really, really strange. But then I realized this pattern. I see that, oh, I was just her stepping stone at that time and she became friends. She got what she needed and then she went on to the next person. And it was very disappointing for me because I felt like, oh my God, I really saw this as a genuine friendship. And it doesn't matter if people need to bring value to you in business. At the end of the day, I see it as people to people and I really like to build strong relationship. I prioritize relationship over money any day. And so it's only months and months later was I really disappointed. But then I also didn't take it personal because I saw the pattern. I started to see, oh, I noticed that she was with them, then she was with them. So I was just a stepping stone. So I got used, but I didn't take it personal because it was just part of their game plan. Now, overall, I would say it's very hard to tell how a relationship is going to turn out. But one thing is I never lose hope in the relationship or in love. It's like I've been burnt so many times in relationships with men, but I never kind of gave up on love. I just went, okay, well, what did I do wrong there? Why? How come I didn't see that? And how can I change the way I attract these people? And I should change my shopping list as well. And so then I never gave up on love and I ultimately found love. And I think it's the same in business where you, despite these people that might come around in your life, you just need to learn to filter them out. You start to become more stronger at your gut instinct and you get better at judging people, but you still get it wrong sometimes. But overall, I still open my heart. I still really welcome with my arms wide open. I help people, and you know, the moment you feel something, you just need to learn to not get so attached and really just let go of people easily. Now, the last one that I would say that irritates me the most is the people who are really arrogant. So what I say about arrogant is I mean that they actually feel like they're better than others. You know, I understand that it does take time and effort to become, you know, successful, and it's true that the more successful you are, the more less time you have. But I still can sense a sense of arrogancy between certain people and people who aren't arrogant. And what I mean by that is when they're arrogant, the way they talk to you is so blunt, because they feel like you're small. There's nothing that you can contribute. But then the moment they're in front of someone that is more successful, they would be like, they act different. But then I've seen a lot of really successful people. I'm guessing here, I don't know Tom Bilyeu like in person, or I don't know Alex Hormozy, but I just feel like they're very genuine, you know? I feel like the way they explain, the way they educate people, it doesn't come from a place of like, I am better than you. And when I met them in person, like for example, Tom Bilyeu, I even saw the way he took a photo and he was just really present in the moment and just doesn't act like, hey, I'm a celebrity, I'm a VIP. And I think it's so important to not be an arrogant person yourself, but then to just find other people that are willing to be humble, to be present, to help you, and not feeling like you need to be with these arrogant people just so that you could get to the next level. You deserve better treatment, better respect than just associating yourself with arrogant people. So I don't want to be negative here. This is a topic that I've never spoken about, but I think now that I've gotten over 10 years in business, and I try to reflect as much as possible and pass on the information as much as I can so that, you know, I can help you guys. So in this video, it just sounds like I'm negative or I'm trying to like, you know, bring down on certain people, but it's just a warning. It's just something that I don't want you to experience. I don't want you to get disappointed, and I want you to look out for it. But overall, do believe in human beings. There's a lot more good people than there are bad people, but just be smart about how you do business. In short, I just want you to get some tips and heads up so that you know how to protect yourself in business. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Otherwise, ask me questions in the comments below. Bye.